The phone rang, its shrill tone cutting through the quiet of the afternoon. 77-year-old Eleanor, a kind-hearted widow living alone, picked up the receiver. Eleanor's heart lurched. It sounded like her grandson, Michael, his voice thick with panic. "I need your help, Grandma, please." Blinded by worry and concern, Eleanor clung to every word. "They'd be furious. Please, Grandma, I need your help. I need money to avoid serious trouble with the law." Eleanor, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and compassion, was ready to do whatever it took to protect her grandson. This is when the scam began in earnest. As Eleanor listened, her anxiety growing, the caller introduced a new character, a stern-sounding man who identified himself as Officer Davis. "Mrs. Eleanor, this is Officer Davis. Your grandson needs bail money urgently. We need you to act quickly to help him avoid spending the night in jail." Overwhelmed and desperate to help, Eleanor agreed to cooperate. "I need you to withdraw $9,500 and wire it to a designated account. And please do not contact anyone else. This is a sensitive legal matter." Eleanor, her judgment clouded by the manufactured crisis, saw only the urgency of the situation. The weight of the situation pressed down on Eleanor as she drove to the bank. Her hands trembled as she withdrew the large sum, a mix of savings and her emergency fund. The teller, noticing her distress, inquired if everything was all right. "Oh, it's nothing, just helping a family member with an unexpected expense." Back home, Eleanor followed the officer's instructions to the letter. She wired the money, her heart heavy with worry and a nagging feeling of unease. She had just emptied a good portion of her savings, but all she could think about was her grandson's safety. Hours turned into an agonizing wait. Eleanor paced her living room, her mind replaying the frantic phone call and the stern voice of Officer Davis. Doubt began to creep in, a sliver of suspicion piercing the fog of worry. She decided to call Michael's cell phone, her hand trembling as she dialed the familiar number. To her relief, Michael answered on the second ring. "Michael, is that really you?" But her relief quickly dissolved into confusion and then terror as Michael, her real grandson, answered with a cheerful greeting, completely unaware of the supposed accident or his desperate plea for help. "Oh, Michael, I've been scammed." Tears streamed down Eleanor's face as she recounted the events of the day to Michael. Michael, shocked and furious, immediately realized his grandmother had fallen victim to a cruel scam. Michael, his heart filled with a mixture of anger and concern, immediately contacted his local police department to report the crime. He then drove to his grandmother's house, his mind racing with a mix of fury at the scammers and concern for his grandmother. He found her shaken and distraught, the reality of the situation sinking in like a stone in her stomach. News of Eleanor's ordeal spread quickly through the community, sparking outrage and a wave of support for the beloved senior. Neighbors and friends rallied around her, offering comfort, assistance, and a shoulder to cry on. "Mrs. Eleanor, we're here to help. We'll do everything we can to catch these scammers and make sure justice is served." Eleanor, overwhelmed by the outpouring of support, found solace in the embrace of her community. "Thank you all. I don't know what I would do without you." She was not alone. Her neighbors, her friends, her community, they were all in her corner, ready to fight for justice. Their kindness was like a beacon of light in the darkness of her ordeal. The police, taking the crime seriously, launched an investigation into the scam. They were particularly interested in the bank account where Eleanor had wired the money. They hoped to trace the account to the perpetrators and bring them to justice. "I just want to see these people caught. They can't keep doing this to others." Meanwhile, Eleanor's story struck a chord with people far beyond her local community. Viewers from neighboring towns and even different states reached out to offer support and share their own experiences with scams. "We've discovered that the bank account used in the scam is linked to a network of fraudsters operating across state lines. The police, working tirelessly, were determined to dismantle this network and bring its members to justice. The pursuit of justice, however, proved to be a long and arduous journey. Despite their best efforts, the police faced numerous obstacles in their investigation. The scammers, experts in deception and anonymity, had covered their tracks well. The complex web of financial transactions, spanning multiple states and even countries, makes it really difficult to trace the money trail. But we are committed to seeking justice for Eleanor and other potential victims. The investigation, though challenging, continued. The police, driven by a commitment to seeking justice for Eleanor and other potential victims, refused to give up. The investigation remains active, but unfortunately the scammers have not been apprehended yet. The money Eleanor wired, her hard-earned savings, has vanished into the labyrinthine world of financial crime. The case served as a stark reminder of the challenges law enforcement agencies face in combating scams. It underscored the need for greater collaboration, advanced technology, and international cooperation to effectively combat these evolving criminal enterprises. The grandparent scam, as it's come to be known, preys on the love and concern grandparents have for their grandchildren. Scammers, often skilled manipulators, exploit this emotional vulnerability to their advantage. They research their victims online, gathering information from social media and other sources to make their stories more convincing. The scam typically unfolds with a phone call from someone claiming to be a grandchild in distress. They often use common names like grandma or grandpa to avoid revealing their true identity and increase the chances of the victim recognizing the name. The scammers then weave a tale of woe, often involving a car accident, arrest, or medical emergency, creating a sense of urgency and panic. To lend credibility to their fabricated stories, scammers often involve other individuals posing as authority figures such as police officers, lawyers, or doctors. Section 8. Recognizing the red flags. Empowering seniors with knowledge. The grandparent scam, while often convincing, exhibits several red flags that can help potential victims identify and avoid falling prey to these schemes. By being aware of these warning signs, seniors can protect themselves and their hard-earned money. One of the most significant red flags is the sense of urgency and pressure exerted by the scammer. They often demand immediate action, claiming the situation is dire and time is of the essence. Another red flag is the request for secrecy. Scammers often instruct victims not to contact anyone else, claiming it could jeopardize the grandchild's safety or interfere with an ongoing legal matter. The method of payment requested is also a crucial red flag. Scammers often demand payment through untraceable methods, such as wire transfers, prepaid debit cards, or cryptocurrency. Finally, any inconsistencies in the story or unusual requests should raise suspicion. If anything about the situation feels off, it's crucial to trust your instincts and seek verification from other family members or the authorities. Section 9. Building a safety net: community support and resources. In an era where scams are becoming increasingly sophisticated and prevalent, it's more important than ever to build a safety net of support and resources for seniors. Community centers, senior centers, and places of worship can play a vital role in raising awareness about scams targeting seniors. They can host workshops, seminars, and presentations by law enforcement officials or consumer protection agencies to educate seniors about common scams, how to identify red flags, and steps to take if they believe they've been targeted. Local newspapers and radio stations can also contribute by publishing articles and broadcasting segments about scams, providing practical tips and advice for seniors and their families. Financial institutions, often on the front lines of these scams, can also play a crucial role in protecting seniors. Section 10. The power of education. Knowledge is the best defense. Education is paramount in the fight against scams targeting seniors. By empowering seniors with knowledge about common scams, red flags, and prevention strategies, we can significantly reduce their vulnerability to financial exploitation. Families play a crucial role in educating their senior loved ones about scams. Open and honest conversations about these threats, while sometimes difficult, are essential. It's also important to teach seniors how to protect their personal information. Furthermore, seniors should be encouraged to report any suspected scams to the authorities. Section 11. A call to action. Protecting our loved ones and communities. Protecting seniors from scams requires a collective effort. It's a shared responsibility that involves individuals, families, communities, law enforcement agencies, and policymakers working together to create a safer environment for our aging population. Individuals can take an active role by staying informed about common scams, recognizing red flags, and reporting any suspicious activity to the authorities. Families can initiate conversations about scams with their senior relatives, emphasizing the importance of vigilance and providing them with the knowledge and tools to protect themselves. Communities can foster a culture of awareness and support by hosting educational events, sharing information through local media outlets, and providing resources for seniors who have been victimized. Law enforcement agencies can dedicate resources to investigating and prosecuting scams targeting seniors. Policymakers can enact legislation that strengthens consumer protection laws, increases penalties for scammers targeting seniors, and provides funding for programs that educate seniors about scams and support victims. By working together, we can create a society where seniors feel safe, respected, and empowered to protect themselves from financial exploitation.